From celebrity endorsements to working with crypto companies, are US regulators doing enough to protect you guys, the retail investors? Well, joining me, I have Irina Heaver, the crypto lawyer. Irina, great to have you here once again.
Thank you very much.
So now we're going to jump straight in because what we're touching on today is US regulators. We've seen a lot from the SEC. A lot of news, not a lot of action as of recently. When it comes to someone that is in the legal space and you are observing the movements from the US, which really does drive the way for a lot of European countries, how are you viewing their updates at the moment?
Theoretically, the regulators are here to protect the retail investors, right? But in practice, we can have a whole different conversation whether it's happening in the right way or the wrong way. So when we're talking about the crypto space, it's new, but regulators from around the world are setting up specific task forces that can address this new technology. And in theory, regulators provide assistance or otherwise, be there for the community. But what is happening in practice is actually the opposite. The regulator, I'm talking about the SEC, does not tell you what you can and cannot do. Then you sort of, for example, taking the Coinbase, right? Then the Coinbase goes to them and says, oh, we were planning to do this. And the regulator says, no, not allowed. And if you do so, we will take action. And then it's actually quite amusing. You almost shouldn't have asked.
Yes.
You almost should have done it and then asked for forgiveness rather than asking for permission, which is a not very good place to be at. Imagine being the general counsel of Coinbase and he's sitting there, okay, dear board, dear CEO, this is what we have to do because that makes sense. And then you go and ask for permission and you're told no, and then you explain why no, and the explanation makes sense because lending, borrowing it's a banking activity. You need to have a banking license for that. That's what the SEC said in short. But crypto lending has been going on all over the world for the last at least 4 or 5 years. And that's okay. But if you come and ask for permission, then it's not okay. It's a very, very, very interesting situation to be in. I'm very glad not to be the lawyer
dealing with
that. I had a privilege of litigating against SEC and DOJ back in my energy lawyer days. And I'm doing everything possible, everything I can to never be in that position ever again. Because as a young lawyer, it was an amazing experience. But my client got a very, very bad deal, very, very bad. It was just horrible for the business because imagine all the resources you need to litigate against the SEC. Imagine the law firms coming and questioning your operation and management staff 24/7, and they don't have the time to run the company. So it's a very bad situation to be in as a company, to be investigated by the regulator. And SEC has teeth. That's another thing that we need to think about. There's so many financial regulators all over the world, but very few of them have teeth. And SEC is the one with the biggest teeth at the moment.
The biggest bite. And I think what's so interesting about this situation is, for just some context for our viewers listening, that the Coinbase lending was 4% to USDT. So compared to, as you've correctly said, the lending opportunities that are already available, where on some sites that are decentralized, like PancakeSwap, for example, you can get up to 99% APY, and it just seems very surprising how a potentially safe alternative that has gone through the right process did get such a backlash and repercussion. And what was kind of iconic for the crypto community was we saw Brad Garlinghouse from Ripple actually respond to a tweet from Brian Armstrong, who had tweeted out and let his followers know the Coinbase update. And he said, well, welcome to the club, because Ripple has been struggling with the SEC and working with them for quite a long time. One interesting element is Gary Gensler, who previously was an MIT technology lecturer, and everyone was expecting him to have a little bit more leniency and also willingness to work with the cryptocurrency and blockchain organizations in America. Are you surprised that things aren't as proactive or positive after Gary Gensler was welcomed in?
I'm not surprised at all, because look at it. Whenever the regulator allows something, they take all the risk, but zero the upside. you as a company get the upside. So the regulator who allowed for certain things to happen, individuals lose their jobs if something goes wrong. So why would you, having zero upside, be allowing something which will let you lose your job? Why would you do that? There's absolutely zero sense. So of course, as a regulator, the easiest, the safest, and the most reasonable and the most logical answer is no. Can I do this? No. Can I do this? Absolutely not. Can I do this? Absolutely no. And unless there is a political will and political force that pushes for that regulatory amendment, for that regulatory change, only then the regulator will budge. Otherwise, why would they?
And I think you said something very accurate at the beginning where you said their job as a regulator is to protect the retail investor. And if we look at the organization's approach, that is something which I understand their protection from that standpoint. But another issue which needs to be addressed in the cryptocurrency space is influencers pushing posts of promotional cryptocurrency tokens, promotional coins. We saw at the beginning of the year, Elon Musk was very proactive, almost spamming Twitter on Dogecoin to the moon, the meme coins just dominating headlines. We recently saw Kim Kardashian West tweet about Ethereum Max, which for many new investors might confuse with Ethereum, which is a kind of an inaccurate representation in itself. Also, this is like a 3,000th largest cryptocurrency token. So there were so many issues with these Instagram celebrity endorsements. Is this something that you feel should be addressed further in the space?
So first of all, I don't think the regulators are here to protect the retail investors. In theory, there should be, but in practice, I don't think this is happening. I think that the protection is being afforded to larger interests, and you and I is not on their radar, unfortunately. And secondly, Elon is trolling, right? And he got a huge boost to his Twitter audience. He's trolling, he's having fun, he's saying ridiculous things. All of this is funny for him. I liked him for a very short period of time. I even, ordered Tesla, and then I disliked him ever since. So that's
to cancel the Tesla.
Yeah, I did. I got a Mercedes. So we liked him for a very short period of time, and now we dislike him. So this is what he achieved. So, but yes, it is. What people need to realize and understand. Bitcoin, for example, is a tiny asset class which moves on sentiment, and that sentiment is Elon Musk tweeting, China banning, somebody else, some volcano erupting. Like, it's so easy to move the sentiment. That's the thing. Now with the influencers, so many influencers got in trouble. A person who I had so much respect for, and then lost that respect while he was tweeting, John McAfee. I mean, and my heart goes out to his family and what has happened to him. And one can conclude it's that his influencing activities took him there, crypto influencing activities took him there. Was Kim Kardashian tweeting or Instagramming about Ethereum Max? I've actually, first of all, I think certain people on this planet is a waste of energy, like as an electricity. If you watch a Kardashian show, I think you're wasting electricity, as opposed to if you're mining Bitcoin, you're wasting electricity. So, for example, I've never seen or heard of Ethereum Max until I started reading about it in the news, and then I had to go and look up. So that is actually very, very controversial, right? What is she talking about? Does she know what Ethereum Max is? I'm sure not. She got paid to promote that. As well as many other influencers. Do they know what they're talking about? For sure not. They got paid to talk about this. Would you say that they have a responsibility to their audience before they shill some shitcoin? I would say they do. If it's at some point it might be a moral responsibility, but at some point it might be a legal responsibility. Are you promoting unregistered securities? And that's where John McAfee got in trouble, and lots of other influencers are getting in trouble. Are you promoting some sort of financial product to those who should not be getting into this financial product? You know, that is illegal. There is a legal consequence for that. So I understand we all have different jobs to do, and the influencer's job, I really dislike that word, because, you know, she wouldn't influence me to do anything, right? Yeah. But somebody who I have a lot of respect, and somebody who has achieved a lot of things in life, those people might, you know, influence me to start looking into something. So I think these people have a lot of responsibility. They've got huge audiences, and they should take legal advice before, and they should do some sort of due diligence before they promote any product, any coin, any protocol, any investment scheme, because it might actually land them in hot waters. And multiple celebrities got fined for those activities.
And I think the reach as well. So I looked into the reach of Kim Kardashian West Post, and apparently it was able to reach 1 in 5 Americans, which is just enormous. So based on that, do you think there should be a regulatory approach then to cryptocurrency companies and investing platforms, that they should not outsource this marketing in this manner? Should we change how it?
The regulations are there already. Okay. So the laws are there already, how you promote, market, and how you tell about the financial opportunities, or how you promote a financial product, or how you promote a security. The law is there. It's just people sometimes think if I'm doing an Instagram picture, then somehow the law does not apply to. That is not the case. Or early in the cryptocurrency days, if we're selling a security but we're doing it on blockchain, somehow the law does not apply to you. The law is technology agnostic. Whether you're sending a fax, whether you're doing an Instagram post, whether you're putting something on blockchain, it does not matter. The law is technology agnostic. So the laws are there. Their lawyers can try and argue that it doesn't apply to them, and they will be very unsuccessful. Whether the regulator would like to start an enforcement action, that's up to the regulator. Whether they want to make a show out of punishing Kardashian for her post. If I was imagine you were a young attorney general who would like to get re-elected or reappointed, depending, you know, where you are in the next years. Wouldn't you like, you know, to be that person who went after Kardashian and punish her for her activities, so you protect the little guy? Of course, you'd want that reputation. So if I was her, I'd be quite careful. And also all the other influencers. Forget about Kim Kardashian. Let's take it home. Yeah. Look at Dubai. How many influencers do we have in Dubai?
It's true.
Several of my neighbors are YouTube influencers, and they actually said they will stop by to say hello. And, you know, they are doing quite scary things on their Instagrams and YouTube channels. It's not my place to tell them, you know, they did not ask for my opinion. Is it okay? Can I do that? But if they were, then my advice would be like, probably not. So let's take it home. Let's take it to Dubai. You know, we've got a few influencers, and they're doing quite a few interesting things.
Mm-hmm. So transparency is key, I think. And how much of an extent should things be transparent? Because I think the cryptocurrency industry advocates on peer-to-peer, decentralization, transparency being so important. And surely then, if there is not the transparency, then this is just the same as the corrupt Wall Street that we are so libertarianly against.
I don't think transparency, sure, but also compliance with existing laws and regulations is quite important. And before you start complying with the existing rules and regulations, you need to understand what they are. And for you to understand what you are, you need to go to a lawyer and ask them, look, I'm planning to do this. Is this okay or not okay? And then you start from there. And then, of course, whenever you realize whether you can or cannot do this, then you look at what product or which coin are you going to talk about, and talk about it from the educational point of view. This is what these guys are doing. This is the this is the technology. This is the team. Educate, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with education, but don't go like, buy this coin, you're gonna get like $10 million tomorrow. That is a problem. There was a very famous TikTok video circulating in Dubai. A very prominent gentleman was saying to buy a certain coin and it will make them a billionaire. So that is quite problematic, because if I were to go and buy this coin tomorrow, I will not be a billionaire. Then I have the right to go to Consumer Protection Department and say, this guy told me if I do this, I'll be a billionaire. I have done that and I'm still not a billionaire. So please, please let me know what's going on. So that is quite problematic to be doing things like this. So first of all, understand what your rights and responsibilities, what the current law, check with your lawyer. Then when you do present, do it from an educational point of view rather than, pumping and hyping and et cetera, because that does not, I don't think that serves the community. Of course, it's all great to be exciting and excited and exciting your viewers. And do your due diligence as well as to what are you promoting, because it's quite there's quite a lot of dishonest players in the market, unfortunately.
Mm-hmm. And that also goes back to what we saw in summer with China banning TikTok banning cryptocurrency advertisements. So do you think then social media platforms also hold some responsibility too, or is it's just too much? What's your thought?
I am very much against anybody banning anything. I think it is bad for, when you're a social media platform, you have to decide, are you a platform, or you now will start selecting what are you allowing, what are you not allowing. And unfortunately, the social media platforms have decided to take this stance. Some things are allowed, some things are not allowed. If you say something which is not allowed, you get removed from the platform, you get deplatformed. One of my favorite journalists get deplatformed from Twitter because he was literally posting the headlines related to the COVID pandemic. He was just posting the headlines from the newspapers, and Twitter flagged him as misleading content and then deplatformed him. So for that, I have a huge problem with. Another thing I have a huge problem with is Facebook not allowing crypto advertisement while working on their own crypto. So they're actively preventing the competition while developing their own token. Now it's called Novi, before it was Libra. So that is a huge problem. One of the largest social media and like a monopoly is preventing other operators in the space just so they can promote their coin. There's a huge problem with that. So TikTok banning crypto advertisements, I'm not actually familiar what happened, why they took this decision, why they took this policy. Probably because there was so much activity going on, and you don't know whether it's, or maybe they got pressured from the regulator, perhaps, or perhaps they took a preemptive step because they knew that the regulator will eventually come and deal with them. Banks, for example, they do not bank adult industry, they do not bank CBD industry, they do not bank a few other industries. Is there anything wrong with these industries? I don't think so. There's benefit for for everyone, right? Involved, hopefully. So diamond industry, if you're a legitimate diamond dealer, it's very hard for you to get a bank account because banks are worried that there's a lot of, non-compliant things that may happen. So unfortunately, this is where we are. We have decided to be in this industry, and this is what we have to live with.
It's true. And then so for everyone watching as well, then I think the conclusion is you can't just rely on one social media platform to get your news. You can't rely on just one influencer to do your research. You have to be agnostic when it comes to different platforms, different data aggregators, just to make sure that you are protected, because it is very inconclusive at the moment.
Absolutely. Make sure you are... it's for sure a very, very, very exciting space to be in if you're a lawyer if you're a marketing professional, if you're an influencer, because you can lose your thousands and thousands of subscribers that you took years to develop if you do something wrong. It's actually quite scary, right? You lose your income as well. So talk to a lawyer, talk to somebody who understands what they're saying, talk to somebody who understands the industry, and I wish us all luck.
Good luck, and we get going. Irina, thank you so much. As always, it's a pleasure to catch up.
Thank you so much. Thank you for being here.
Thank you, guys, and thank you so much for watching. If you have not already, make sure to subscribe to not miss any more content like this.